officers both on and off the force prior to the night of January 16, 2010. How coincidental is it that this also happens to be a man who has spoken out numerous times about the vicious brutality inflicted on him and others by the police? Similar to the Malik Jones case, the officers justified shooting another black man by creating false allegations following the incident.
That's right.
Unfortunately, my community standing here with me today, and I have witnessed brutal acts by police countless times.
That's right.
Stories such as Jewu Richardson's, Joseph Donavy's, Abel Sanchez, and Aaron Heborn's. We want to know how many times will we be subject to these injustices? When will the police serve our communities instead of inflicting fear and trauma upon individuals and families whom they are supposed to protect? Next up, we have Myra to speak. Or John Lugo.
Work for us.
Okay, my name is John Jairo Lugo. I am a member of Unidad Latina en Acción and also a member of Blue, Black and Latinos United. Today, we're here in solidarity with our brother Jewu. Jewu is one of the brothers who walk the streets, work in the city, who has been contributing to this community for a long time. And in an incident that happened a long time ago, he almost lost his life. As many other people who lost his life in the black community, in the Latino community, in the hands of the New Haven Police Department. And we, as a community, we need to stand together and we need to fight the actions of these criminals. Yeah. These criminals in blue, these criminals that we pay them with our taxes. These criminals, they walk the streets of New Haven, brutalizing the minorities. Because that's one of the things that we have to mention. Most of the people who got brutalized by them is minorities. And as a minorities, we need to stand together and fight together.
Yes.
Amen.
God first. My name is Bless Peters. I am also a member of Blue, Black and Latinos United. I'm a frontline soldier. And I'm here to speak about the character of this man. A manifestation takes place, given the chance, change, opportunity to change. And regardless of this man's history, he's changed. He is no longer a problem to our community. He is part of the solution. He is a mentor. He is a person that our children who are doing wrong can turn to, and he has a story to tell them. He is a witness to the economic and the social and political injustice of America. But through this, he's turned his life around. He's aligned himself with God, the Most High. He has taken a stance for righteousness, and his mission is to bring harmonious peace to our community. But as he makes his journey, these same officers who want to remember him from the past and not recognize the change that he went through, they want to keep tormenting and tormenting. And what happens is a man has to make a stance at some point. And it's whether going to be a stance of peace or a stance of violence. And God blessed this brother's heart because he took a stance of peace. So he's here today with his fellow brothers and sisters to show the city of New Haven that enough is enough. That you're going to recognize the righteous people who are trying to do the jobs that they are being paid to do, to serve and protect our communities. Jewu Richardson is part of our solution. He's part of our solution because he has two stories to tell. So we need to recognize the positive side of this brother and stand with him as he's making his journey. Stand with him. So please, everybody, don't feel like you're safe. Don't feel like this can happen to you or any of your children or family members, because New Haven is setting the precedence with their police department that they do not serve and protect those in the inner city.
That's right.
So it's time to stand up and stand together. Justice for one is justice for all.
Right.
Justice for one is justice for all.
Yes, yes.
God first.
God first.
Yes, sir.
Next up, we have Myra to speak. She's representing Blue, Black, and Latinos United. She's also been a witness and a victim of police brutality.
J.O., can we hear from your attorney for a second?
She want to go check and see. Let's touch bases inside. She'll be
Here. We'd like to hear from you.
All right, we have Jewu Richardson's attorney here to speak. Diane Poland.
Good morning, everyone. I think this is an important case because, you hear me?
He's a xylophone.
Like that?
Whatever it is.
You hear me now?
No.
Now?
There you
All
go.
right. This is an important case because, this is a case in which Jewu was shot by the police, but nobody's paying any attention to that. Instead, what we're hearing is that he hit a police officer, but the witnesses we've talked to have indicated that, in fact, the police officer was running next to the car and jumped up on the car and then shot through the window. And that's going to be the factually disputed issue in this case. So I think it's an important case for people to pay attention to, and it may be a case for that somebody wants to ask the chief of police why there's never been an internal investigation of the police shooting of a civilian in this case. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
What do you want?
Justice!
When do you want it? What do you want?
Justice!
When do you want it? What do you want?
Justice!
When do you want it? What do you want?
Justice!
When do you want it?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I come in peace. I'm here to represent Brother J.O. and the injustice that happened to him at the hands of the New Haven Police Department.
right.
But I want to also give you a little history on the brutality of the New Haven Police Department. If you can stare at this picture here, this beautiful lady right here, this is my mother. The police kicked my unarmed mother's front teeth out because she wouldn't be quiet. She would not submit to their demands. So they took actions into their own hands, and they took this lady, my mother, and they kicked out her front teeth. My two children, beautiful kids, raised in the church. I teach them right. I teach them about safety. I teach them about the police. My son wants to be a police officer. That's his lifelong dream.
racist.
Police.
No justice.
No peace.
No racist.
Police.
All right, next up, representing Blue, Black and Latinos United, we have Miss Parker speaking for Joseph Donovan.
Hello, everyone. I'm here to support Joe. He's a pillar of our society. He's been working and getting himself together. And the police doesn't recognize when people are trying to do better. They only see people for their past. And I'm here to say about my son, Joseph Donovan, which was one of the young men that has been beaten and brutalized by the police. I want everyone to come out and stand with us that has any knowledge and witness of this kind of brutality by police. My son was beaten, kicked, and stopped before he was already knocked down by a car. The police had stunned him. Then he drops him in the street and proceeded to kick him and stomp him and punch him and kick him all in the head from the head down. And you know, it's not right. We have to look at this as children coming up and our next generations. What are we leaving for our children? We have to realize that our children have to be coming up through this mess. And we can't worry about them in the grave. We have to worry about them now. We have to worry and think about what can we do now. We got to stand together now. We have to come together now. And just try to see what we can do to bring these policemen out. If they want a war, go to the army. We don't need them here. We need them to be here to serve us and correct themselves. Not just stand up for an injustice, but you know we go to court for justice. Until proven guilty, we're innocent. So whoever's out there that's supposed to be having an injustice, contact us. Get with us. We need to see you. We need to talk to you. Thank you.
Amen.
All right, next up, representing Blue, Black and Latinos United is Marnie. She's also witnessed police brutality. Next up. Hello. Hello, how you doing today?
Right.
I'm here to represent J.O. and also to tell my story about my son and myself. My son, Aaron Hebron, is a victim of Hamden Police Department. He was beaten and tased twice in 3 days. My son was attending college. He was working. He graduated at 17 with honors. He's in the who's who book of academic excellence.
That's right.
My husband is a police officer. They didn't care. They didn't like him because he was smart mouth punk, because he knew his rights, because his father was a police officer. They picked and harassed him for an entire year, ticketing him, asking him if they could search his car, patting him down, taking his property, slamming his property, doing all that stuff till it led up to a point where they started to beat him and tase him in the public eye and tried to get away with it. Internal Affairs, there's a one-man show, Lieutenant McNeil, that is not doing his investigations. He never interviewed me, the witnesses, or anyone else. Police officers have put tasers in my face till I peed my pants thinking I was getting shot in my face while I was trying to protect my son while they were pointing a taser at his heart. They tased him twice in 3 days while he was attending a Hamden High graduation. And then 3 days later, on Father's Day, they tased him while his hands were on the hood of his car, right in the back of his spine. This has got to stop. My son has always wanted to be a police officer. He wants to follow in his footsteps. But they are really taking that away from him. You know, they're trying to damage his entire future, trying to put false charges on him to make right what they've done wrong and all that. And it's got to stop. It has got to stop. And like I said, I am the wife of a police officer. My son is the son of a police officer. I have respect for police officers that want to do their job and do their job right. But we have too many corrupt officers out there that have got to be stopped. And laws have got to be made that can fire these officers on the spot when there's been something done against citizens that we know are wrongdoings. It's got to stop. There are no laws protecting them. They're protecting the police officers, keeping them paid. They're being paid.
continue to brutalize our citizens. And that's all I have to say.
Amen.
On that note, we want to serve notice to America. We want to serve notice to this country that we live in, supposed to be the land of the free and the home of the brave. This is the home of the people with fear and the home of the slaves. We're going to serve notice that we ain't afraid no more. A lot of us never been afraid. But for those that are afraid, come stand with some brothers and sisters that ain't afraid no more. See, our life and our death will never be in your hands. Our life and our death is in the hands of God. You can't control that.
That's right.
So you facing no fear no more.
That's right.
I'ma serve notice. This is me on a personal note. New Haven Police Department. If I ever see any of you brutalizing any of our women in our communities, you're gonna have a problem. You're gonna have a problem. Go tell the mayor, take it to Washington. We're sick and tired of the brutality. Our children don't have to be scared no more. All the people walking by, don't look at us and smile like it's a sideshow. This ain't no sideshow, this is life. This is how we live in our communities, whether you recognize it or not.
That's right.
There ain't no fear here.
That's right.
God got us.
God got us.
It's time to liberate the youth in America. This ain't just about New Haven, Connecticut. America has a problem, a history. You want to talk about terrorism? Turn on your TV and look at Nathan's having a hot dog eating contest while there's people starving in the street. That's terrorism.
That's right.
There's a problem going on outside. It's a war going on outside. And we taking the stance and we at the forefront. This brother J.O. again. And everybody that has stood here and spoke today and talked about these situations of brutality. We serving notice.
Frontline.
Brothers and sisters,
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
Police.
No justice.
No peace. No racist.
Police!
No justice.
No peace!
No racist.
Police!
Brothers and sisters, I hear today that many of you have been talking about many cases being witnesses of the actions of the police. In this case, I want to introduce Jesus Garzon. Jesus Garzon is a kid who was a witness when his father was brutalized by Dennis O'Connell, one of the worst criminals in the police department in New Haven. So, welcome, Jesus.
Young man.
Hello, my name is Jesus, and I was a witness of my father being attacked by the police. He was attacked for no reason, just because he wanted to use me as a translator. He was tasered 3 times in the neck. He was tasered attacked. I'm sorry, I'm just a bit nervous. He was tasered 3 times in the neck. He had to go to the hospital afterwards. I saw that. I think that really hurt me really bad. I don't. Just seeing that, I would just.
Don't cry, my dude.
That really is. That I don't know how to explain that. That was just. Yes.
Don't cry, my dude.
I believe all of you are paying taxes for their salary, and it's unfair how people get being like that for no reason. It's unfair. It's unfair how they abuse their weapons that they get. We should get, I believe they should get all new cops. I don't care if they're like so young or anything, but they should get, like, fire Dennis O'Connell. I don't care about him anymore. I never did.
No justice.
no peace,
No justice.
no
Police.
peace,
No racism.
police,
No justice.
no peace.
To hear this baby stand up and share his emotions on what he witnessed. He
carry this for the rest of his life. This is what the police are doing. They're discouraging our young people from wanting to turn into a police officer. Our young people call them the beast. They call the cops the beast. They don't want to be no cop. They can't relate to them. But we have young people who want to be police officers, peacemakers, constables. This is what their job is supposed to do, to come out here and engage this young man and let them know what their job is really about. But his heart is hurting right now. His spirit is hurting right now. So again, this isn't a sideshow. Come stand up for this young man's future. This is the legacy that the police officers are leaving behind right now. Tears and terror. The community is accountable to each other. And this is our chance to come together, hold ourselves accountable, and then hold the police department accountable. Hold the mayor accountable. But we have to come together first and share our stories, share our tears, and to humble ourselves in the sight of God, and we will turn this thing around. So enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Stop standing there watching, waiting for it to happen to your household. Go park your cars, call into work for an hour late, and come stand up for justice. Come stand up for justice.
Down with the mayor! Down with the mayor!
No justice!
Our last speaker for the day, representing Black and Latinos United, is Barbara Fair. No justice?
No peace!
No justice?
No peace!
No
justice?
No peace! No racist!
Police!
Again, no justice.
No peace!
No justice.
No peace!
Hear us loud and clear. No justice in New Haven.
No
there will be no peace in New Haven. Now, what I'm standing here to talk about is multifaceted. First of all, we have a brother who has turned his life around.
That's right.
And for the grace of God, he's standing here to be able to continue to turn his life around.
That's right.
It wasn't the grace of the New Haven corrupt police officers that are out of control. If it was left up to them, he would never be able to tell his story.
That's right.
So I'm going to stand up here, and I will continue to stand up here for this brother and hope that he will be among those who will find justice in this corrupt city. We're standing on the steps of corruption. When you look around the corner, there's another court of corruption.
That's right.
You look down the street, there's another court of corruption.
That's right.
We are tired of it. And I'm not just talking about the corruption within the police department. I also speak to the corruption on our streets.
That's right.
But I'm going to be like someone that I really respect, the late Martin Luther King. He said he will no longer talk about corruption among our kids in the ghettos until we also speak to corruption that goes on in our government.
That's right.
The greatest threat to the New Haven community are the thugs in the uniforms with the badges and the bully clubs and the tasers, the Glocks, the dogs, and now the assault rifles. We are not having it in New Haven. We are going to stand up and deal with what's going on with our kids, because I think we can get to those kids that they call thugs. It's the thugs in uniform that I don't think I can speak to, because they ain't hearing us, because they operate within a culture of corruption. And that corruption has led for many children, many of our children and parents, ending up in the criminal justice system. We have to stop this. We have to stand up. We have to stop being sideliners, on the sideliners, watching the injustices and the violence going on in our community every single day. And I'm not going to speak just to the violence coming from our kids, because we got enough media talking about that. I want to talk about the violence that's going on within our police department, where people are charged to serve and protect. So today, from this day forward, I hope that people will start standing up. I know a lot of you are getting paid by the government to keep your mouths closed, but one day that government is going to touch your child. That same And I guess he can see now where that can get you. That same government that you stand up and support will take your child down. Take your child out of this world. And for the grace of God, that's what J.O. would be. So I'm asking people in this community, talk to our kids, stop the violence in our communities, demand that our administration start finding out where these guns are coming from. That's right. Our kids can find guns when they can't even find books. And if you think that's a mistake, that is purposeful. As long as these kids can get these guns and are committing violence in our street, that gives these other thugs the excuse to do the things that they're doing. So like I said, we're speaking to what happens to J.O., we're speaking into where these guns are coming from, but we also are going to speak to the thugs in uniform that are also destroying our community. Running around in our community with masks on. That sounds like a threat to me. You come at me with a mask, I'm going to shoot you. Because I'm thinking you must be trying to rob me. Now when our administration allows for these officers to walk our streets and run through our backyards with masks on, they are perpetrating violence. And they need to answer to that. Now we have police officers with all the weapons they got. Now, after September 12th, they'll have assault rifles to be using in our community. Can you imagine what that's doing to our community? The media's focus on our kids, but what about these thugs in uniform that are going to have assault rifles now to take us down in numbers? Keep sitting back and watching and not saying nothing, and but believe me, it's going to touch your door. So it's time for you to stand with us. Don't wait until it happens to you. This is not about an individual. This is about a system of violence and corruption that has destroyed many families. We talk about where the dads, our prison industry have the dads. And they continue to take the dads. Now they're trying to take them from 15 years old before they even become dads. We have to wake up in this city. Wake up and make sure that at this election we are voting for someone who has empathy for this community, who cares about this community, who's invested in this community, and who's going to say that instead of investing in AK rifles, we're going to invest in resources to turn our city around. I believe New Haven can be a wonderful city again, a thriving, flourishing. And that's what I want to invest in. I don't want to invest in guns and dogs and tasers. So stand up, New Haven. Stand up, stand up, stand up. No justice. No justice. No justice. Believe me, there will be no peace in this city until we see justice. And it's going to take all of us to ask for it. Matter of fact, we ain't asking, we're demanding. Demanding justice.
Down with the mayor! Down with the mayor!
Brothers and sisters, this is blue, black and Latinos united. We started getting together like a few months ago because we believe that the only thing that is going to help us to overcome these issues with the police is the unity. The unity of black and Latinos. I have some paper here. If you want to sign up, if you want to be informed about what's going on, the next actions, please sign up. We need more people in this organization. We need more people from the grassroots. We don't need politicians. We don't need all these people who are using the community. We can get together as a community and we can overcome as a community. J.O. just went inside of the court. He's going to be in courtroom C. This brother needs our solidarity. If somebody can stand at courtroom C with him today, that will be great. Me están diciendo que lo diga en español. Lo que estoy hablando es de que somos una organización que se llama Black y Latinos Unidos en Acción. Y lo que estamos pidiendo es de que si están interesados, firmen esta hoja para que hagan parte de esta organización. Lo único que nos va a sacar adelante como comunidad es si estamos unidos como comunidad. Y en este caso, los negros y los latinos tenemos que estar unidos para salir adelante. El hermano Jewu, que es el cual porque estamos haciendo hoy esta marcha, está en la corte C. Si podemos acompañarlo, es importante mostrar solidaridad con este compañero. Entonces, si alguien se puede quedar, importante, gracias.
I just want to quickly send a message to the goons. We are unafraid.
Let's go.
We will not be moved.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Ray, get it dog. Let's go. Justice.
Now, are we going inside or?
No justice.
No peace.
No racist.
Police.
No justice.
No peace.
No racist.
Police.
No justice.
No peace.
No racist.
Police.
No justice.
No peace.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Then let's go get it.
Yes.
Huh?
Frontline.
Black and Latinos united.
Frontline.
Black and Latinos united.
Go right in.
Our common issues. If we sincerely come together, we can change this thing, community. If we come together sincerely under the eyes of God, we can change this thing.
That's right.
He has to move it. None of this is in our control. And this is obvious. That's why we're on these steps. So we need to turn it over to God and ask for His guidance. Ask for His wisdom to move our tongues and our spirits so that when we speak, we have impacted those who are listening. We're asking y'all to look inside yourselves and ask what is America's promise to you? What is New Haven's promise to you? And has it fulfilled this promise? Do you see it trying to fulfill its promise? I can only speak on the inner city, what I see going on with the blacks and Latinos. And our resources are dwindling. But we keep finding more and more guns in our community. We don't have not one gun factory in New Haven. But our kids are getting guns. They're getting guns. They're getting guns. And they're destroying our community and destroying their lives. How are they getting these guns? Where are the guns coming from? How come the mayor hasn't addressed this question to the inner city community? How come the chief of police hasn't come out and addressed the issue about where are the guns coming from?
The state police ain't
That's what I'm
The
saying.
state police.
My friends is dying, man.
And if we do have good officers, why are they not speaking up?
That's right.
What are you unafraid of?
right.
What are you unafraid of as you stand there trying to watch us right now?
They're
You
afraid
better
of the
get
truth.
scared of us. That's what better happen.
They're afraid of the truth.
Because we're not scared anymore. Don't think your children can come through here and be safe if we ain't going to be safe.
That's
My
right.
name is Bless
Frontline.
Peters. I'm a frontline soldier, so understand what I'm saying.
Frontline.
And you're really not worth me losing my voice over. Understand that. Where the guns coming from? Investigate that. This is what we want to know. Where are our children getting the guns? We just went to a funeral the other day, and a young man got his life taken away just yesterday. They had to pull the plug. Why? Why? Because you're not finding out where the guns are coming from? It don't work to your agenda. Job security. What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Boy.
That's what's up, Bless. Hey, yo. Can you hold it? I gotta go back to work.
Brothers and sisters, if you want to support
it's
Mr.
on
Richardson,
Jewu's camera.
he's in courtroom C right now.
already-
Thank you for lending your support and your time and listening. Again, we're Black and Latinos United.
It's already recorded, so
And I just want to take the time to thank everyone who came out, everyone who supported us, and especially to make our point that we were not going to be moved and we
J-E-W. Sounds like Jewu.
Okay. J-Lo.
Okay.
Attorney Diane Poland, practicing in
How do you spell it?
one N.
And your last name?
It's Poland, P as in Peter, O-L-A-N.
Give us a idea as to what happened inside of the
Well, we went to court for a pre-trial conference today where it's an opportunity for the prosecutor and the defense lawyer and the judge to discuss the merits of the state's case. And I told him this is a case that is going to trial because this is a situation in which a police officer shot my client and he's being charged with assaulting the police officer. The police officer claims that Mr. Richardson hit him with his car and that the police officer was hanging on to the car for life and he had to shoot through the window. But that's not really what the witnesses are going to say at trial. What they're going to say at trial, I believe, is that the police officer was running beside the car, he jumped up on the car, and he fired through the windshield. One of the interesting developments in this case is that it appears that the car, which should have been preserved as evidence, was not preserved and may have been destroyed. And I'm filing a motion to have that car produced if it still exists. It's another interesting wrinkle of this case. In every case that I know of where a police officer shoots a civilian, there's an internal investigation of a police officer involved shooting. That never happened here. And I think that's a question somebody should be asking the chief of police. Thank you.
Does this have anything, you think some of this has to do with, he's got, I guess, a counter suit against the police for brutality? Is that possibly part of why it's been so difficult to come up with a car and certain things like that?
You know, I really can't comment on that because I've only been Mr. Richardson's lawyer for the last couple of months, and I'm not his lawyer in the police misconduct.
They had said, speaking with Mr. Peters before, in jail, he said that, you know, there may have been a past, but that you're a changement, and that it's, you know, that police are still going on what has, maybe some of the issues he had in the past. Can you get into a little bit as to what some of that record is in the past as to why the police may be treating them?
Yeah, that's not something I'm going to comment on.
How about this is people are out here today talking about police brutality, not only against Mr. Richardson, but several other people. Have you come across that type of situation? Do you think it is a problem in the city of New Haven with the police and the citizens?
It absolutely is a problem in the city of New Haven. You know, not all police officers are brutal, but there are certainly some who violate people's rights, and some of them on a regular basis. In addition to being a criminal defense lawyer, I litigate police misconduct cases. That's one of the other things I do, and unfortunately, that happens on a regular basis. And you know, often in situations where the police are under a lot of stress themselves because of the situation they're in, they react badly, and we expect them as police officers to be held to a higher standard, and sometimes they don't do that.
When did this, what was the date when it happened?
It was January 16th, 2010.
How is, and how, I don't know if you want to comment, how are you doing now? How are you feeling physically?
He's got a bullet lodged in his body they couldn't take out.
I just actually took the bullet out physically, I would say a month ago. I squeezed it out basically in the shower. The bullet came out, and I mean, I'm mentally traumatized. I mean, physically, I look unstable, everything's, but I definitely went through some mental stuff with that incident. I mean, it's kind of a blessing in disguise because it's brought me to this point right here where I'm willing to speak out openly about the brutality, the police brutality going on in this city and so many other victims. I mean, this is a picture of the passenger in my vehicle. He didn't get charged with anything. Why did he get beat up and a broken aorta, black eye?
How did he?
They pulled him out of the car.
They pulled him out of the officers did that to him. Police officers did that to him. And he didn't get charged with anything. You could say you could question if I hit him with the car or not. That's a question for court. Well, my passengers didn't do anything. So how come they got assaulted? For all for all you know, they could have been in the car against their own will. I don't even think that question was important. I feel like that was just the nature of the police, just drag them out of the car and just savagely beat them up. I mean, the pictures speak for themselves.
Do you feel like the police have targeted you over the last month?
Yes, I mean, the actions I've took against the police department, as far as challenging when they planted drugs on me by filing a civil suit, I mean, speaks for itself. I mean, why wouldn't they have an issue with that? I mean, I'm challenging them. If it was up to them, I wouldn't file nothing. I would just turn my back and let the situation die, and I would be dead. And that didn't happen. I'm not dead, and I didn't let this situation die down. I filed a civil lawsuit, and it's still pending in court now. When I was shot, the lawsuit was still pending in court.
So you had filed a lawsuit prior to being shot?
His original lawsuit has to do with a former officer named Justin Kasperson who planted narcotics on him. Unfortunately for Mr. Richardson, shortly before he was supposed to go to trial in that case,
one day before I was supposed to go to trial,
Justin Kasperson was arrested by the federal authorities along with former Lieutenant William White because they were involved in police corruption, and Kasperson subsequently did federal time for that. So that's the lawsuit Mr. Richardson had pending at the time of the shooting.
They offered me 8 years before they got indicted. I was set to go to trial. I picked the jury and everything. They offered me 8 years. One day before the trial was supposed to start, they got indicted by the federal government on a slew of corruption charges. I've been sitting in jail a year telling everybody, the courts, everybody I could try to reach out to, that they planted the drugs on me and the case is tainted and people should look into it. Nobody wanted to listen to me until they got indicted. The minute they got indicted, the next day, they offered me time served. They offered me time served. They went from offering me 8 years to 3 days later offering me time served once the officers got indicted.
You shouldn't have been even convicted.
It shouldn't have been no time served on something.
And it made me take a knowledge. They waived the court appearance, had a secret court date, and gave me a knowledge. Instead of dismissing the case what I asked for. If I couldn't go to trial and exercise my constitutional right by a jury of my peers, throw the case out. How is it that you can just force me to take a knowledge, waive my appearance, then ask me if I wanted to take that? I denied the knowledge. So now it's a matter of them just giving me the knowledge, just forcing me to take it.
That's American justice.
How's it feel to have this group of people around you?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I wouldn't have it no other way. I mean, I know these people genuinely care about me. They care about my best interests, and these are the only type of people I want around me. If you don't care about my best interests, I don't want to deal with you. And I feel like that's what I have around me right now.
This isn't only a message to the New Haven Police Department. This is a message to America that it's time to clean up the system of injustice that we are facing in the inner city. Our kids are being brutalized. Young men are being brutalized. They don't have a chance to change. They can't get jobs because they have felonies. This is a disaster here in America, and it's time for everybody to wake up and change this system. So, Mr. President, on down to Mayor John DeStefano, please hear this. We are not scared. We have no fear. We are the citizens that live in the United States. We deserve to live in peace, and we deserve to have justice.
And we know this system is by design.
What's your name, first and last name?
My name is Remedy Sharif, R-E-M-I-D-Y, Sharif. S-H-A-R-E-E-F.
And are you with any particular group or your friends?
Yes, I'm a supporter. I'm with Blue, Black and Latinos United. I'm a frontline soldier. I'm with my brother's keeper. I'm with everybody that's standing for righteousness, man. Everybody that's standing for peace and harmony. We are one humanity. That's what God told us. We are one humanity. This isn't a black, white issue. This is an issue of injustice. This is an issue of corruption. And this is what we must stand against, because before we know it, all of us will be facing these same atrocities that America has allowed to go on for far too long.
And I wanted to say something else. There's many people here that can't speak for themselves. There's a lot of people that's affected by police brutality, and they have partners in it. These are actual victims. This guy he has some opinion also about police brutality. He was tasered, while he was handcuffed, brutalized by the police, and harassed by him on countless occasions. this lady right here, her teeth was kicked out of her mouth by the police. These kids right here witnessed her son being savagely beat on Blake Street by the New Haven Police Department. Her son wanted to be a cop before. After seeing that, he told his mother he didn't want to be a cop. His mother's forcing him to be a cop. He wanted to be cops. This is what residents in New Haven have to go through. This is the things that we have to go through. And it's not right. We shouldn't have to go through this. We live in this community, we pay taxes, and we're treated like we're in a war zone. We feel like we're in a war zone. I personally feel I'm in a war zone. I know troops that come from Iraq that don't get shot. I get shot walking out in my city that I was born in. By them same people that's supposed to serve and protect me. I'm not saying I'm no angel. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm an angel or whatnot, but come on, that doesn't justify being treated like a savage when I'm trying to walk the right path.
Thank you very much.
I just want to get sure I spell your first name right.
I guess.
And today you were the pre-trial hearing. What kind of came out of it today?
Well, what came out of it is we talked about merits of the case, the lack of merits. I told the judge that the case was going to trial on the issue of who assaulted who. You know, we think the police officer should be on trial for shooting him. We don't think he should be on trial for hitting a police officer, which he didn't do. So the case is going on the trial list, but there's still some what we call discovery issues. And the main one is, what did they do with the car? They destroyed the car, which is a critical piece of evidence. Okay, so we're coming back on October 14th, and hopefully we'll have some answers to some of these questions.
And we will continue to watch.
Yeah. Blue is here to let, Black and Latinos United is here to let the community and the public, we want to send a message out to the public. People, Blacks and Latinos in your community, stop putting up with the occupation of our communities by police. Stop putting up with the brutality. Come to a Blue meeting in New Haven and share your story, and let's rebuild our communities, and let's protect and police ourselves. Please get up out your seats and come out to a Black and Latino meeting. Again, we are putting an end, we're standing up to all the police brutality and occupation going on in our neighborhoods and around our country. A couple weeks ago, a young man in San Francisco got gunned down, shot in the head by the police because he didn't pay his bus fare. In Miami, a man got shot on Memorial Day by 12 cops, 100 bullets for no reason. In J.O., they tried to take my friend out 2 years ago for no reason. He's an activist in the community, working to help kids with education. So for what? Blue's putting an end to this, and we're standing up to it, and we're rebuilding our communities, and we come in peace.
First and last name?
Kerry Ellington. KerryEllington.
Can you be in charge of the equipment?
No justice.
No peace.
That's
No
the
peace.
camera back.
No
Oh, we can give it to him. Because it's over.